Hello and welcome. This will be a reading for Virgo for April 2023. Welcome to the table, Virgo. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'll be using a 10-card spread with 5 cards along the top row and 5 cards along the bottom row. I'll talk about those cards as they come out. Then I'll overlay them with the second deck of cards, and I will talk about those cards as well. I'll try and pull the reading together as we move through, and I'll also try and highlight any areas of concern or issues that I think might need your attention. The flowers are from my garden. The crystals have been in their salt bath. I do hope you enjoy them. Cards have been very well shuffled. I'll just give them a little bit more and we can start your reading. Okay, no, a bit more. Okay, and always I just listen. If the cards don't feel ready, I wait for them to be ready. Okay, Knight of Cups in reverse, the Star in the upright position, 2 of Swords in the upright position. I'll take them in this order. Justice in reverse and the High Priestess in the upright position. On the bottom row we have the Sun, 7 of Wands, the 6 of Wands in reverse, Knight of Wands in the upright position, and the Page of Pentacles in the reverse position. I'll show you the bottom of the deck. Okay, Judgment. It seems very interesting. Everyone's getting the Judgment card, so it does look like there's a karmic end to our lives. Okay, I'll start talking about this one. So this is the Knight of Cups. Moving in, waiting for some love to come in, some love energy. It's in the reverse position. So perhaps you're not able to show your love very well at the moment. Perhaps you feel like your cup is empty. Perhaps not feeling any satisfaction in your emotional life. A little bit depleted, I think. That's the energy I'm getting from this. It's definitely feeling depleted. No passion, no enthusiasm, just an empty cup. Here we have the Sun. Oh, sorry, the Star. I do beg your pardon. The Star. So the Star is finding that lovely balance between what is given to you from the cosmos and how you pour that out onto the earth. So if you're not feeling connected to the cosmos and you feel that your cup then is empty, then you have nothing to pour onto the earth. Whereas if you feel that the cosmos is looking after you and supplying you with abundance and all that you need, then you are able to translate that energy through your actions, through your words. You then allow that energy to flow because you have confidence in your own cup being kept full. But it's in the upright position, but because this Knight of Cups was in the reverse position, that's the way I'm reading this card. But this is usually an indication that you are able to shine, to allow your inner light to shine through. But if you're feeling a bit depleted, then maybe it's not quite so easy to shine your inner light. And perhaps you need to think about what it is that's causing you to feel maybe that your cup is empty. Because our cups are really never empty. It's just an illusion. It's part of our ego. It's part of our worldly experience to feel that sometimes we don't have enough or that people don't care. But it is an illusion. It's just that disconnect that we have from our subconscious mind and a disconnect from the spiritual realm. Okay, here's the 2 of Swords, so a decision. Again, a bit of an illusion. I'm feeling here more of an illusion rather than a decision. It's feeling very lonely here, so maybe again this is a blockage rather than a decision. This can be when you've got your heart blocked, you're not allowing anything in. So this is more what this energy is feeling like. It's more feeling as though you have a blockage there, that you don't allow anything in. It's almost like you're too frightened to allow the energy to flow through you. Here we've got Justice in the reverse. So justice is normally about everything being measured fairly and you feeling that life is fair and just and true, and being able to live in your truth with integrity. It's in the reverse position. So I'm getting the sensation that you don't necessarily believe that things can be equitable or dealt with fairly. It's almost like this feeling of, and again, it's this blockage, it's this blocked energy, not trusting in the universe. That's what it is. It's not trusting in the universe, which is rather interesting because here you've got judgment. So, you know, judgment speaks of the universe. This is the call of the archangel, so to speak. It's an announcement. Pardon me, we're having a thunderstorm, so that's the rumbling in the background. This is the call of the archangel, so to speak, to rise up and look where you are, see what you've done with your life. It's kind of a little bit of a measure. It's almost like measuring your life, but on a cosmic scale rather than an earthly scale. It's also giving you an indication and reminding you that there is a cosmic energy out there, okay, that there is a divine energy. It's asking you to pay attention to all of the little things that perhaps you've ignored all of your life. If you're not spiritually minded, taking a look at nature, I always find, makes you start to look at the wonder of nature and how even just watching ants or watching small insects, they all go about their business in a very controlled way. They know what they're doing, they know where to find their food, they know where to shelter, and the cycle of you know, supply and demand for all the creatures on the earth just kind of flows along. But if you're disconnected from that, you don't see that beauty that is brought down from the cosmos onto the earth. So this is a little bit of a reminder perhaps that maybe you've overlooked some of the absolute beauty on this earth. And then that puts you in this state of, it's an unbalanced state because you're then looking at everything from your ego and from your worldly perspective. And that really isn't sufficient to keep you feeling joyous in the world, because there's so many things that make us depressed or sad, and so many injustices that you start to think that that's the way the world runs. But that is kind of more of a man-made situation rather than a cosmic situation. Here, this card, this is the High Priestess, so this is asking you to connect to your intuition. And the pomegranates have the seeds of life in them. It's like the magic of watching something grow, planting a seed and watching that transformation from a little tiny seed. Something absolutely beautiful can grow. The flowers grow and they blossom, and the fruit trees bear fruit, and huge trees grow leaves, and then some of them lose them again in the autumn. It's that magic and the wonder of watching nature create. So you do perhaps need to spend a little bit more time thinking about the magic and the wonder of the universe, connecting to your intuition. Here we've got the sun. So this is the most beautiful energy in the deck. This is happiness, joy, fulfillment, and there isn't a nicer card. Everything is good about this card. This is like being like a young child. And again, I think that's what the cosmos is calling on you to be like this young child, to see the wonder in everything, and to, you know, to be joyous. It's like a child playing on the beach. A child at the beach or a child in the park is totally joyous. They can't think of anything beyond the experience and the fun and the lovely time that they're having. So perhaps there's a call for you to be a little bit more joyous, because the card is there. You have the star and the sun. They're both absolutely beautiful cards. You've got some quite powerful energies with the Judgment there as well. So it could be that you are having some big changes around you. Okay, we've got the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is this little bit of energy of feeling like you need to defend yourself. And if you're in a bit of a down place, then it does feel very much like you need to defend yourself quite regularly. You know, if you have a positive attitude, it doesn't feel so much like the world is against you. So You need to keep this positive attitude. You need to remember that the cosmic nectar keeps flowing. It flows down through us, and it gets transformed through our manifestation on the earth. We're able to spread our joy, our love to people and our family and our friends, and the way we interact with each other. I mean, if you watch the news, of course, you're going to be totally depressed all the time, because that is almost like the humans at their worst. So that makes you then a little bit defensive. You feel then that everyone is against you, whereas that's not really the case either. Here we've got the Victory card in reverse, so this sense of being acknowledged and appreciated by the people around you. Perhaps you're feeling that nobody knows who you really are, or nobody is actually appreciating you. It sort of feels a little bit, rather than being surrounded by people who are giving you applause, it's almost in the reverse position. Perhaps again it's this sense of isolation, this blockage, not allowing people in. And if you don't allow people in, there won't be the occasion where people are applauding you and acknowledging what you do and how you contribute to the world. Like being a family member, people can appreciate what role you play, but if you are taking the position of being defensive, then it's very hard for people to appreciate what you're delivering. Pardon me. Here we've got the Knight of Wands. At last, some enthusiasm and some passion. So this is wonderful, because these look a little bit downhearted, whereas here this is a beautiful fiery energy leaping forward, as you can see, full of passion, charging ahead. So somehow you feel a little bit renewed. It definitely is showing here some renewed energy. And the other thing is that can happen if you're feeling a little bit below par or under the weather, then also you feel like you can't be appreciated, because you feel like your contribution, even sometimes in your own eyes, is not sufficient to receive any accolades or acknowledgement. Page of Pentacles, a new opportunity. Perhaps you feel that you aren't given sufficient opportunities. Perhaps you've lost that youthful enthusiasm for new opportunities. Perhaps you need to adopt a more carefree attitude. This person would normally be quite young and full of vitality. If you are not in that state of mind where you are excited about a new opportunity coming towards you, then you are inclined perhaps not even to grab that opportunity. So it's got a lot to do with your state of mind. You have very beautiful cards here. So these are very, very positive cards, but it is asking you to use your intuition a little bit more perhaps, and to listen to the voices. And these can be the cosmic voices. These can be the voices of your angels or your spirit guides talking to you and calling you forward and saying, hey, have you forgotten about us? There's another world here that can show you the beauty of the way of the world. So maybe not listening sufficiently to the inner voices or the small voices. Okay, let's have a look. We'll clarify these cards now. I know it sounds like a very spiritual message, but it feels here like you're not quite in your power and not quite in your strength. So here at last you're getting a little bit of enthusiasm. So I can only assume that perhaps you've been a little bit under the weather or in a little bit of a mental state of depression. And, shutting down. Sometimes you can shut yourself down. When you close yourself off, of course, everything becomes so much worse. So it's important to stay connected and not to shut yourself off. Okay, don't become isolated, because then you will not see the connection of yourself to the world, and you won't reap the benefits of playing your part in the world. Okay, let's clarify this. Okay, a whole stack have fallen out. I'll take the first one and I'll leave the rest, because that's Page of Wands. That's rather interesting, because he's quite enthusiastic, and I'll show you that card first, because before we go any further, look at his happy face. So this is a little bit of exuberance, Again, that's what I was talking about here. This is this youthful, carefree energy. So this is this lovely exuberance that somebody young has, a little bit of vitality. So that is nice to get there. So a little bit of exuberance coming your way, which is lovely, because it does look like you've been quite disappointed lately, and that's not a good state to be in. We all get into that state occasionally where we're sometimes just feeling a little bit sorry for ourselves, and that can happen very quickly if you're not feeling quite yourself. Okay, let's have a look at the star. Okay, the Four of Pentacles. Ooh, hanging on a little bit tightly. Okay, we've got the Seven of Cups, perhaps not being very realistic. Let's have a look. Oh, there's another thunderclap. Justice. Okay, Four of Cups, a little bit down in the dumps. And the High Priestess. Ooh, stability, lovely. So this is a happy event. I'll focus on this one first because this is a joyous event. This is something that gives you your strength back. You feel protected. It's sort of like a man is in his castle. You know, feeling like he's a king in his own castle. This can be marriage, but it also is. It can also be. There are no cards here to indicate that there's a marriage or a love commitment. But if so, well then, good for you, Virgo. But it can also be just the foundation, the stability in which you live your life. You know, maybe you're getting a sense of stability back again, because sometimes we become disconnected from our environment. You know, that happens to all of us, where we become a little bit discontent, and we just feel, when you feel disconnected from your environment or from your family, then it feels like you have no foundation, or you have no structure around you that supports you. Have a look at the Sun. Five of Pentacles, okay, and the Seven of Wands, King of Cups, okay, that's nice. All right, doesn't want to come. All right, we'll shuffle some more. Six of Wands in reverse, we'll have a look at this. The Ten of Wands, okay, maybe something's been a little bit of a burden to you. Okay, let's have a look. Knight of Wands, the Empress, lovely. Okay, well this is good, because this is showing me here, I'm going to talk about the positive aspects immediately, because it's so far been a little bit depressing. Knight of Wands, passion and enthusiasm. Empress, lovely, fertile, creative, harmonious. So the Empress is normally considered to be like a homemaker, a wife, a mother, but it can be any energy. Like the cards are gender neutral, so, but this is this lovely combination of fertility, enthusiasm, a passion again, which is rather lovely. So finding some passion, perhaps finding some enthusiasm in your sexual relationships again, that would be very nice to have there. Being in love again, and she's the divine feminine here, as you can see. So this is almost like this is a very masculine card, and this is a very feminine card. So the combination of the two is some enthusiasm for life, some passion for life, some creative passion, some urges that may bring you forward out of yourself. Okay, let's have a look at the Page of Pentacles. Okay, Temperance, lovely. A little bit of healing and balance. And at the bottom of the deck, I'll show you too, we've got the Eight of Swords. So straight away I will talk about this, because you can see in the very background of this card there's a castle. It's almost like you've locked yourself outside the castle. And that's what I was talking about here with this card. If you've kind of disconnected yourself from your situation, from your family, and you feel a little bit estranged somehow, and that can be just a sense of disconnection rather than an actual disconnection, feeling removed, so that puts you in an isolated position. So that's never a nice feeling. So we talk about the Page of Wands. I think I've mentioned him. Felt like your cup was empty, but it does look like you're going to get some creative energy back again. A sense of enthusiasm. That's quite a lovely energy that's coming back. So that's quite good. And here we've got the Four of Pentacles. This is perhaps hanging on a little bit too tightly to the structure and the things that you know, rather than allowing expansion. This is a card of rigidity, of being miserly, of being overly fixed and tight in one situation, but it can be in multiple situations. And this card here with the star is an expansion card. As you can see, all the stars in the cosmos are hers. They're all shining for you. But if you're hunkered down, you know, a little bit like Scrooge, sitting in your parlour counting your money, that leaves you feeling very isolated. So you need to perhaps expand a little bit, spend a little bit of money, go out a little bit more, come out of your shell. You know, he's cocooned here, sort of in the shell. Even his doorstep has become like a little shell or a little man cave that he's hiding in, which is rather interesting because directly below that, I'm sort of breaking up the reading a little bit, but can you see the similarities in the poses there? So he's sitting there structured and tight and holding on to everything far too tightly. And here, luckily, you've got this King of Cups. This is this opening up of the shell, opening up your heart. This is the lovely energy. This is under this defensive behaviour. So again, when you've got this closed off energy here, you become defensive. Once you let that go, then your world expands. And, you know, this is the old saying, your world is your oyster. And the shell there is all about opening yourself up. Okay, so that's a lovely energy there. So I am reading this all over the place. I don't mean to do that, but and I normally wouldn't do that, but I just feel I need to talk about certain aspects together. Here again, you know, we've got this what I call the shut-off energy. Sometimes it's referring to making a decision, but in this case I felt like you've shut yourself down and protecting your heart. And this is fantasies and daydreaming. And I think perhaps once you shut down, you go into the mode of fantasies and daydreaming rather than being in a space of reality. So it's important that you don't allow your state of mind to become disconnected from your family and your worldly environment. You need to live in this worldly structure. You need to also function mentally in that structure. Don't be carried away with fantasy and wishful thinking and daydreaming. That really doesn't... You can spend a little bit of time there, but not too much time. Here we've got the Four of Cups. Again, this is this very disengaged, disconnected energy. So you really need to guard against that energy of being disconnected, because you can see there are opportunities in those cups. There are people willing to engage with you, willing to share experiences with you and willing to share love with you. But if you've got your head down and you're disconnected, people can't reach in. It's very difficult to get in. And then you create this self-imposed restrictive energy where, you know, you become prickly on the outside and people can't reach in. So again, that's very much like this defensive card here. Okay, people can't reach in once you get like that. I've talked about this Four of Wands, Five of Pentacles. Again, as you can see, this is in reverse, and again, this is quite a sort of this is an out in the cold card. Feeling like you're out in the cold, feeling isolated, feeling shut out, feeling impoverished, feeling like there's no love shown on this card, as you can see. So it's this disconnect. Again, there's a lot of disconnect here. So I do think you've probably, you know, going through a phase of emotionally disconnecting from a lot of things. It's very important for you to stay connected, because you can quickly go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, and find yourself completely alone, impoverished, out in the cold. It's not a good energy for you. Okay, it does feel like here, you know, this is on top of this this what would normally be a victory card, but it's in the reverse. So feeling like that you haven't won anything. Maybe you just feel like life is a bit of a struggle at the moment. Feels maybe everything is a bit of a struggle. Carrying too many responsibility, too heavy a load for you. Again, this can be self-imposed. It can also be, some people talk about this as being a harvest card, that you're laying down your harvest ready for the winter, so to speak. Your harvest, the harvest before the winter. So, doing hard work maybe before the winter to secure your castle. Perhaps you've had to do a lot of hard work to secure your home environment or something that's important to you. Just like squirrels gather nuts for the winter, and people who live out in the woods and places where they run a fire, they need to gather the wood. People need to do a lot of activity, sometimes a lot of hard work in preparation to secure their foundation. And that could be the case here, where you've been working hard to secure your foundation. But it looks like that's coming to an end soon, so that's rather nice. Here we've got the Empress. I did think we had the Empress. Oh yes, I've talked about the Empress before. So again, there's this lovely abundance with this card. So hopefully a bit of renewed sexual enthusiasm, a little bit of creative energy there, loving fertility, and that again, it's kind of like in a happy home where you have a good homemaker. If you're lucky enough to have experienced that, where the home is neat and clean, and the children are happy to see you, and there's food on the table, and there's clothes in the cupboard, and if you're lucky, there's a car in the driveway. That's that sense of being content with your home life and your partner. Here we've got Temperance. So this is lovely, gentle, healing, soft energy coming in, as you can see. Perhaps this is what you require. Perhaps you need a little bit more gentleness. Maybe you feel like the world's a little bit harsh at the moment. But here's this beautiful, this is an angel again, so this is what I keep talking about with the Judgment card. If you're aware of angels and soft energies, things that speak gently to you rather than the reality of the harsh world, which is all about, particularly if you spend a lot of time watching the news, you will start to think that the world is completely harsh and horrible. And here's this beautiful energy of temperance, healing, finding a balance. So perhaps you need to focus on the softer side of things for a little while, and that will bring you a lot more stability and joy. And then again, you will see the flowers, you will see the wonder of creation. So I hope this has helped. I do think, perhaps you are going through a cycle where everything looks a little bit bleak, and it has been quite a difficult few years, so I can understand that you can fall into that trap. But not everything is bleak. You do need to focus on the good things that you've got around you. It's kind of being grateful and appreciating the things that you have got. If you forget to appreciate and forget to be grateful, your world shuts down very, very quickly. Thank you very much for watching, Virgo. I do hope you've enjoyed the reading. I'll see you next time.